Hello everybody, and welcome back to another go-karting video. Here we are at Team Sport for another members night. Today variants here are in practice, and immediately as you can see, there's just a slight issue with my go-kart as it is very aggressively vibrating. Going up the hill, I'm currently thinking it's a puncture, but it apparently wasn't. The kart had such a big crash that the whole rear of the chassis was bent. Anyway, straight in the pits, going into another go-kart, as you'd expect. For his practice, I have a quick look, because I was fully convinced it was a puncture, but no, it wasn't. The tyre looked fine to me. Anyway, unfortunately, car 11 ahead was the God Kart today. They had it under seals. Anyway, out on our next kart, here ahead, Steven. Usually I'm a bit quicker, but as you can really see, I'm already catching him very quickly. And in my opinion, this kart felt very slow, and it wasn't really quick. So yeah, it felt okay, it felt better, but as you can see here, he's gapping me at this top end on the straight, and I wasn't happy with the kart. I'm not here to be in the middle of the field, I'm here to win. So I'm kind of thinking here, I think I want to go in the pits. This car doesn't feel right, and I'm curious if this is how all the karts are. Anyway, quickly, going over here into kart 2. Which I'm actually going to regret, because kart 2 was even worse. Coming out of the pits here, it turned in more nicely. But as you can see here is JB up ahead. I can't even turn in without the rear end going, but look how far he's gapped me, just on one straight. That's how slow this kart was. Lapping around 1 minute flats, down to a 59. Usually my pace is around 57 flat-ish. So it was just a tad bit off the pace. Anyway, here we are in qualifying, straight into the pits. I basically told myself that the first car I'm in is what I'm staying with. I'm not going to swap again. Quickly running over to car 18 and hopping in as quickly as I can. And getting my seat all nice and adjusted so comfortable. One of the most important parts about karting. Anyway, straight out, we need to get comfortable with this car as quickly as we can, no matter what. Immediately it looks a lot quicker, but if you look at the steering, it's tilted to the right. I've got a kart which is veering off to the right, which is usually, since some tyres are more worn than the others, since they keep these tyres on as long as they possibly can. Obviously, for money costs, for costs, right? It's expensive to get new tyres every week. So they kind of just continue running them, and obviously the track rips the tyres apart because it's so grippy. And it looks quicker, and I can get used to the fact that the steering wheel's a bit off. We're going into turn 1. Not great entry. The tyres are still cold, but we did manage to get ourselves into P4, considering the struggle we had. Anyway, straight into the race, and there the lights going out. Waiting for it to go green. We immediately have to go across the left-hand side because I'm not too sure how the start's going to be. So as everyone else pulls away, immediately to the left, go defensive, as being on the outside line off the start is never good. But as you can see here, immediately getting a jump on P7, looking quicker right out the gates. And we need to be confident. One of the most important parts about racing is to be confident. And as the two in front get away, we need to get this overtake done, probably on this first lap. We see he goes wide, going into this corner. We just need to find the switchback, find the gap where it's possible, stay right in his tail, and we see he's gone wide off the apex. It's going to give him a really bad run and give us the inside line, which is now wide open. And there we go, make the move lift slightly so he can't get the switchback, which means he has to lift off his throttle. And he gives us a slight nudge there to push us back along, which we're very happy with. Put our thumb up at him, and we need to catch back up. We're looking to get JB, as we've been P2 the last couple of weeks, which I'm not very happy with. Tom is separating us, and these guys are about 4 tenths quicker than me in qualifying. Obviously, I'm still not very happy with the go-kart at all. This is a GP2 session, so there's a pit stop, although quite ironically, at this point, I forgot there was a pit stop. I was incredibly tired, and a bit away with the fairies this day. But we are catching up with these two, slowly but surely, as JB is going off in the distance, so we are becoming slightly impatient. But this race it is around half an hour long, so anything can happen. Obviously, people make mistakes, and if Tom catches up with them a little bit and starts putting pressure on, these two might start battling, which might give us an opportunity to get past. But as you can see, we're beginning to feel very confident with our kart, as we are gaining on these two quite quickly now. Here, just a few laps later, JB has closed into Tom, and these two are going to start battling as Tom's starting to put the pressure on. As we're just gonna try and keep up with these boys and just hope one of them makes a mistake while battling. As you can see, they're both going offensive to here, so don't lose them time. But they are. Their carts do seem to be a tiny bit quicker on the streets. Obviously, driver excuses, but I got a pretty decent exit there, and they are literally pulling away from me. But it is what it is. We're gonna try our best to pull out what we can from this race. Going down the hill, still feeling a lot quicker here, as Tom has a pretty big slide there. We are showing a decent amount of consistency, but these two are still just slightly quicker, as Tom goes so defensive for us there, although we were quite far back. No chance for us actually being able to hit the move yet, and I don't want to put too much pressure on Tom. I find at this point, just staying behind him so we don't lose P1 in the distance. Anyway, JB has got past one of the other drivers who has come in for his pit stop, just now basically turn him into a back marker as they start at the back for the pit stops, and then black flag the front guys to go into the pits. And this guy in the red suit defending valiantly from us behind. JB got very lucky and managed to get past him quite quickly, but Tom here is getting hold. There's nothing I can do here. There's not enough space in me to get past and then get past the guy in the red, so I just have to hope Tom makes the move and follow him through. But this takes too long. We're going to lose an absurd amount of time here as Tom looks for a gap on the inside, but just isn't quick enough. Backs out to avoid an entry into the shadow realm, you know? Anyway, here we go around the pits. Absolute centers, they're both incredibly slow. And I'm just hoping a gap can be found, but Tom is still way too far back. Doesn't get the exit that he would have wanted. And unfortunately, we're still stuck behind this guy in the red as JB is literally driving off into the distance. Which is not what we want. But we're literally stuck. There's nothing I can realistically do here. So, just gotta be very, very patient and hope something happens between these two. And we can only go past both of them. But at the moment, that guy, he's covering that line perfectly. And there's no real way for Tom to get past. And considering he's making a couple mistakes himself, it's very difficult, and we're just trying to put pressure on these two and stay up close, because if Tom makes the move, we need to be there to follow him through, because even if we don't have the inside line, we can just follow him through, and there's not really much the guy in the red can do. Anyway, going down, Tom's still riding his tail. We're trying to push him forward slightly, push him through the gap. Bump draft there, you know what I mean? Tom is still really struggling here, but this guy in the red has gone wide here. This gives Tom the inside line, and we're just going to follow him through. And there's nothing the red guy can do there. That defense is now over, but he does try and come back at me, which I'm not very happy with. Immediately make sure to cover that off and make sure he knows to stay away. And now he's got to try and keep up with Tom and catch up with James ahead, because he has completely gapped us after getting stuck behind the guy in the red. But hopefully somewhere around the pit stops we'll be able to catch back up. But here we are behind another back marker, Kev I believe that is up front. And hopefully we can get past him nice and quickly, although he is in Kart 11, the God Kart today. So that car has incredible straight line speed. So even despite him being in a higher weight category, he is gapping both of us on the straights. But we're going to try our best to get up past, as he left a massive gap on the inside. We see Tom go through, and we absolutely send it and hope there's space as that gap on that second apex closes. We actually got a penalty point for that. Personally, I think when it was on the limit, that overtake was fine. The contact there was just him not expecting me to be there. Personally, in my opinion, I don't think there's any issue with that. Didn't drive anybody off track, and I didn't put him in the wall. But I did get a penalty point. If I'd like to get other people's opinions on that. So you got this far, let me know in the comments. If there's that guy is about to black flag us, tell us to come into the pits. But being a dipstick, I thought I was actually getting black flagged. So I actually went around twice and lost myself a bit of time. But here we are, up on another back marker. Let's Tom past. But doesn't see us, but let's just pass in the next straight. But that's now produced a gap between us and Tom. Anyway, here we are, him black flagging us. We're making sure, because at this point I have no idea I we're making a pit stop. In my head, I've been black flagged and I've been very naughty, and I come into the pits. This is actually an incredibly slow pit stop, but I'm going to cut it out as we jump into the second cart and right out here. Hoping it's a good one. As we've seen, they do have some bad carts out today. It feels funny as you go massively wide on the apex here, but it's quick in a straight line, which is all we need. The steering alignment's now stuck to the left rather than the right. That's a bit of a strange adjustment, but off we go. And now we've got to get our head down, because this is the time to game. This is where we can get in time on the pit stops. Even though normally I'm massively quicker, I've gained about a maximum of 12 seconds on pit stops on previous GP2 nights. I was a bit baffled tonight. Gotta respect it. I think I've used 6 different cars today, I think. But here we are, up back behind car number 1. Gonna try and clear all these drivers as quickly as possible if we're gonna try and gain time and overtake some of these boys with a bit of an undercut, I guess. We're not really given much of an opportunity of a decision on strategy, obviously, but we have to make do with what we're given as we make that move nice and quickly. We have a bit of free air to just put in some nice lap times. Currently, I think we're lapping around 57.3s, which is not where we'd want to be, but it was relatively quick. And here we are, back behind this guy in the red, who we know loves defending. He's good at it, to be fair, but I don't like it. It slows me down. Anyway, we're going to try and make this move as quickly as we can. And coming up the hill, right on his bumper now, look towards the inside. We're just going to try and carry the move through as nicely as we can and just try and get an exit there. But we touch the barrier on the inside, and that ruins our exit slightly, and we are still stuck behind. He positioned his car really awkwardly. But when he gets a bad exit, there's nothing these carts are slowly powered, so you lift off so you don't bump him off track. But that means your run's actually worse, which is the only issue with these low-powered carts. Here he goes wide, but there's a slight lack of grip offline, and we just can't find the gap. We look to go slightly wide here so we can get a run, and we look for it, but the guy covers the inside nicely and gets a really nice exit. Presumably his car is slightly better low end than ours. We look for another gap on the inside, but we're just going to leave it because he might not see us, and being in the barrier is worse than coming second or whatever. But here we are. Give him a slight nudge there. At times, it's difficult to predict what the driver ahead is going to do. But Kev now backing up into the guy in the red. We're going to try and make the move on this lap. We do not want to be behind him for much longer. Go into the braking zone, and he's braked slightly early. We've given him the slightest nudge, and that's pushed him offline. And that is the first time I've ever sent anyone to the Shadow Realm. I felt incredibly bad, but in my opinion, that wasn't my fault. And that is our race over now. Pretty much had 5 clean laps after that. And that is P2, as you can see JB ahead. But Tom is not to be found. And there we go. Second place. Fastest lap of that session was around 57.2. Matching JB ahead. Managed to get on the pace despite our struggling start. In practice, my fastest lap was at 59, and by the end of the night that was 57.2, but immediately going to say sorry to the guy in the red. And it was a very good defense. I have to apologize if he does see this video. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you in a couple weeks time for a very special outdoor karting race. And anyway, until then, bye bye.